Hello and welcome to my twin flame journey. I am Shine, and this is going to be the December reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mars. And be sure to check your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mars to get additional messages. Also, keep in mind that these readings are general, so take what resonates and leave the rest. I might be describing you or the person that you're dealing with. Flip the energy around if need be. I also deal with shadow work, so therefore I do not discriminate in my readings. I read for those that have been on the receiving end of the misdeeds and those that have done them. So again, whatever side of the coin that you may fall on, apply it as it may fit to you. And if it doesn't fit, don't force it to fit. And as I tell everybody, you probably should be glad if it doesn't, because there's nothing but freaking drama on this table. Gosh. Every time I lay out the cards, I'm like, yeah, here goes another one. Oh, yeah. But again, it's all about healing, right? Let's get rid of this shit, these shady people, this what have you, and let us do better in 2019, Gemini. If you'd like a personal reading, of course, all the information is below. If you'd like to do an energy exchange and make a donation to the channel, donations are greatly appreciated. You can also see how to do that below. And what I've done for everybody, and you are the last, but of course not least, my son is a Gemini. So, of course, I have a fondness for Gemini. The law of attraction spread I've been trying to do for everybody, it is because it's the end of the year. And, you know, the universe is really trying to bring in blessings for people with Jupiter moving across Saturn to bring in your Dharma. You know, what you've earned from going through a certain situation, hopefully gaining wisdom from it, hopefully learning from it and moving on from it again, so we don't block our blessings. So we shed that karma, the karma which had a lot to do with how we show up and how we allow other people to show up, and again, and making adjustments so we do not repeat with this shit. Everybody's dealing with shady people. As just every reading that I've done, it's somebody obviously was dealing with, you know, being a dumping ground for somebody else's bullshit. And that's why I always tell people the most important thing with all of this stuff is learning to become aware of our own wounding, so we stop inviting this stuff in, you know, and it'll continue to come in until we learn these lessons. So that's why it's so important that we do self-love, self-care, self-respect, boundaries. You know, this is an important lesson for many people. And obviously the people that are doing the shit that they're doing to other people need to learn their lessons too. But, you know, depending on what you were dealing with, the majority probably aren't looking to heal themselves. They might not even be capable of it, which is why, again, we're needing to, we only have control over ourselves, right? And I apologize if I'm seem a little tired. I am. It is 10:30. I just did an hour and a half reading for Libra, which was another very, I said, because it takes a lot of mental and emotional energy, especially when dealing with heavy subject matter. And it kind of wears one down. So if I seem a little, it's because I am. But again, we're going to get through this, Gemini. And then I'm heading to friggin' bed. You know what I'm saying? We's tired. We's all tired, right? Oh, I should say, this is the overview. Challenge or obstacle, advice in regards to love, the reality check of the life lesson we're needing to take from the situation and moving forward. This is the clarification of these cards, you know, the why. This represents the vibration that you're currently sending out. This is something that you need to be more open to receiving, or this is something that we're needing to clear up so that we can be open to receiving. This represents what will come when you're more open, when you become more open to this healing, or meeting what you needing to release. This represents the next step that you have to take, the leap of faith. This represents how can you manifest even more successfully. And then lastly, it's the advice from the universe. So let us start with flexible. This is the overview. So let us see what we've got here for you, my Geminis. Funny. It's like I thought. I knew that these would probably be obviously law of attraction in order to attract better things, or having to release, shitty energy, shitty situations, mindsets, and I knew the negative stuff was going to slip in. Obviously, I deal with shadow work. What do I expect? But I tell you, 12 readings, picking up on everybody's stuff. And I got my own stuff. Let me tell you, I feel like I need a drink, and I don't even drink. It's heavy stuff, people, heavy stuff. But you're going through it, so. But I'm going through it with you, because again, I'm picking up on all this heaviness here. Flexible, essential meanings, teachability. Being able to learn. Right, this is important. Open-mindedness, being adaptable without compromising what's most important. And what's most important, of course, is our self-love, self-respect, integrity, standards. Most important. A lot of people lowering these standards to entertain people that need to more step up their thing than people lowering their standards. Other people are needing to learn to step up to the plate, and people need to stop enabling other people in their karma. Unless we find ourselves like this here. The oracle's message: a tree's roots are solidly planted in the ground, yet its branches can bend in a hurricane. Whereas a rigid structure, like a building, would come crashing down, consider how the tree remains supple and secure when everything around it may be in shambles. This is how you need to be now. Willing to learn new things, be teachable, malleable, yet firmly grounded in who you are. Common sense is important, but so is an open mind. Stay curious, stay open, stay aware. At this time, others will be more flexible with you too. So obviously, we're needing to be able to go with the flow of life. Again, live and learn through these experiences. Use that wisdom to be aware going forward. But make sure that we don't shut down because of certain experiences where we may block better things, new things from coming in, right? Relationship message: in every relationship, it's important to be open to new experiences and learning new things. Letting go of rigidity is what's required right now. You don't always have to be right all the time, do you? It's okay to come to a happy compromise. You can still get your needs met. It's a beautiful day when you meet halfway. The appearance of this card in a reading could also signal that you have met someone new who may not be your type, but who will turn out to be so special that you can easily release your old ideas about what sort of partner is right for you. Be flexible. You'll be happy you made that choice. So perhaps, again, our usual types are more often than not rooted in karma, which is why we tend to choose the same types of partners, find ourselves in the same situations, again, because it's meant to teach us something about ourselves. And once we heal that part of ourselves that keeps attracting certain situations, certain types, our perspectives change. We raise our standards, so then we become more open to different types of people that we don't have to chase or jump through hoops for, or be miserable with, people that will treat you better. And sometimes those people, you know, they're not the usual type you would go for. Like the person always goes for the bad boy or the bad girl and doesn't go for, you know, the good boy or the good girl. But once you get put through the ringer enough times, you shift your type because you know what gives what result, the likely result, and you won't want to deal with the usual. Prosperity message: even when you have a clear vision of how you're going to manifest something, what it will look like, who will share in it, and what will then be available to you, you still need to relax and open up to other possibilities. Spirit may have much better plans for you. It could be a job you hadn't thought of, a new source of money, or some other opportunity that eluded your imagination. Be flexible and remind yourself this or something better manifests for me now. So again, thinking positive, right? Whatever it was that was making us miserable, know that better things await. Again, if we learn lesson and release and be open. Then be willing to bend a little, enjoy the miraculous results. Protection message: when you or someone else becomes too rigid, you lose the access to growth and untapped potential and find yourself in an us versus them scenario. Loosen up, open your mind and heart, and see if a more flexible approach feels better. Rigidity will set you up for a fight where there are only losers and no winners. Could you find a way to bring about a result that is mutually beneficial? Meet in the middle. Spirit makes a great mediator. This is obviously about, even when that compromise card comes out, this is sometimes just about compromising with spirit, you know, allowing ourselves to let go of things that no longer serve us so that spirit can work with us to bring in things that are for our highest and best. Right? Sometimes that's by just allowing and not holding on to things again that we might need to let go of, because that doesn't bring about a winning situation for us, right? It only keeps us stuck. And then you have here, if you believe. So if you believe that you are worthy, if you believe that you can have better, you send that vibration out, and you know, not to say that the shadies won't come back around, because again, if this is your karma, probably until you leave this place, you are going to constantly be met with that same lesson in different people. But once you learn it, once you are self-aware, you pick up on things sooner and you can avoid. That's why, again, awareness is key. Because it doesn't mean that once you go through one bad thing that you won't have a similar one come in again, but you'll be able to have discernment. And again, we won't entertain things that might be our usual type. If you believe, what you need right now is faith. You can have what you desire, but you must believe that it can be so. Stay positive and visualize the outcome you're hoping for. Set aside all negativity or pessimism in favor of a sunny outlook. The law of attraction brings to us what we expect to receive. If our perception is that we deserve great things, then we will attract happiness. If we fall into doubt and don't believe in our own self-worth, then our experiences will match that energy. See? Believe in yourself and your cherished dreams. So even when people say, well, I want someone who loves me, I want whatever, and I keep ending up with this. And they're talking, what do you mean what you put out, that's what you get back? It's not about what you want that you attract, it's what you are. And if you are a person, again, who has a low self-esteem, who doesn't value themselves, despite your ideal of what you want, you're going to attract to you what you need to learn. And it's going to present itself in people, karmic soulmates that are there to teach you about an aspect of yourself that you're needing to let go of. And for many, that is believing that you are worthy of something good. But it has to come from within first. If the two don't match, again, The universe gives you what you need, not necessarily what you want. And when we raise our vibration, again, when we shed those things about ourselves that are causing us to self-sabotage, right? Then the universe brings you your blessing. But again, you have to match that energy from within first. So that's why it's important to believe so that you can manifest. Now, then we have here in the challenge position, the Queen of the Light, which is illumination, enlightenment, and celebration. Again, it was in the challenge position. So again, maybe that's that illumination that we're needing. Let's see. That awareness. Challenger, the Queen of Light challenges you to shine your light and not give in to fear. Are you hiding yourself for fear of rejection? Are you as afraid of success as you are of failure? The light of the divine shining within you is the power that expresses through you. This is not your ego. This, not your ego, is the authentic place of self-expression. The Queen of the Light also challenges you to look at how you're affected by glitter, glamour, and the superficial dreams of society. Remember, all that glitters isn't gold. A lot of times we find that out in people because they wear masks. You know, they sell you a dream and deliver you a nightmare. The material world is fleeting. Nothing lasts forever. Make sure your intentions come from deep within you and don't base them just on money or power or what you think love will do for you. Again, filling voids and meeting needs, looking for something outside of ourselves to make us feel lovable, worthy, liked. Again, that codependent nature of people pleasing, or I don't know what your things are. You have to again come into that awareness. You have to know, what is it within me that doesn't serve me, right? Because we have to be whole within ourselves. So we find people that complement us, not people that we're dependent on to tell us what we're worth. Again, it has to come from within. True wealth resides within. Peace, harmony, and a sense of purpose. Remember that light isn't garnished and cold, nor is it manufactured. It's warm and brilliant and natural. Give up the attachment to the outer goal, and if it's meant to be yours, it will surely come. So that's even in regards to what it is that we'd like. I would like a partner who is faithful and loving and kind and respects me and all these things, but releasing the form in which that might come in. Because again, it might not come in your usual type. It's kind of be open, you know. You're like, oh great, it might bring somebody it looks like Igor. No. Hey, who knows? Igors need love too, right? But again, we're needing to perhaps change our usual routine, our usual way, again, of showing up. Seven of Swords reversed is the bottom of the deck. So this is, again, breaking free of mental challenges. Again, whatever's holding us back, keeping us stuck in our own minds. This is also difficulty in taking the first steps in a new direction, feeling like we're having continuous setbacks, or a need to release old pain from our heart. A need to break free from old habits and ways of thinking to overcome blocks. A need to set broader horizons in regards to relationships. You know, there could be, you know, some cheating going on or something, or somebody acting shady. But something is coming out in the open. Or somebody feels, and we got Knight of Wands here, so I don't know if we're dealing with player types, or this is just us needing to take action here and get out of our depression. Or again, we're dealing with players who hold secrets, deceptive behaviors. Again, ten of Swords here. you know, something we needed to go through in order to learn, but we're needing to heal from whatever pain this is what we've been through. We need to release it. We're needing to see things from a different perspective, you know, in regards to not getting what we wanted, perhaps, because again, sometimes what we want and is not for our highest and best. You know what I'm saying? And then of course, Five of Wands over here. It's trying to no more conflict, inner conflict, outer conflict. Again, releasing ourselves from it, like just not wanting to deal. Which I don't blame you, especially if because this is the energy that you're sending out. You know, it's like close to done, I'd say. Feeling a bit put through the ringer, weary, you know, but it's a 9. So again, maybe you got one more in you. Drained, exhausted. You know, the final challenge to reach victory again, but the victory depends on you and what you feel that you deserve and what you're willing to do to release yourself again from any patterns that you might have, you know, releasing yourself from stuff that's making you feel all kinds of jacked up here. This is someone who stands up for their beliefs and stands firm. You know, it's telling you to don't give up. It's a sign of hope and encouragement. The last bit of darkness for the dawn, and it's a need for you to draw upon your courage, resilience, vigilance, and patience. As again, we have to heal before we deal, and until we are ready for something that is definitely going to be better, we have to energetically match that. As within, so without. If we're still in the woest, or if we're still in our own wounding, we're just going to attract a similar situation, because again, you attract what you are, not necessarily what you want. So we have to be in alignment, right? May feel distrustful of others or self. Yeah, especially if you've been betrayed. You know, that's something that you have to learn over time, again, to open up to people, because we're on guard, right? We're defensive. We're not trying to get fucked over again. But sometimes it can be, in a way, you can be too defensive, where again, you shut down or you block things out, because again, we're still in the thralls of whatever happened here, energetically, emotionally. And again, this could be something new, which obviously it's going to take time. It's not going to be like, oh, I read a tarot reading and now I'm just going to shift my, you know, healing takes time. And the universe understands that. But they just want you to be aware of kind of the reason why all things happen, and how we play a big role in co-creating what manifests in our lives. And it's about making wiser choices, learning lessons again, and what needs to change within us. It's a need to try to be optimistic, take precautions, but be on guard. Again, applying wisdom. And why are we the 9 of Wands here? Because the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So probably because, you know, we feel like shit just never seems to work out. So we're tired. We feel like, you know, I don't trust anybody. I'm just kind of whatever. You know, but this again speaks about karma, karmic cycles, right? Understanding that, you know, again, the reason why something happened was to teach us something. But as they says, you know, don't be in that pessimistic, bad luck, negative, stinking thinking, never always happens to me or whatever, because again, depending on our perspective, you know, you got another fight in you. You got more than one, but you know what I'm saying. This talks about bad luck, events not in our favor, negative forces that play outside of your control, because again, sometimes, you know, We don't have control over other people's actions. We only have control over how we respond to it. Again, what we allow. And if we keep letting shady people slide, they'll think they can ice skate. So again, to thine own self be true, as I tell everybody. This talks about poor decisions and the consequences of them. Look for ways to turn it around and make the best of a bad situation. Again, like, yeah, well, that was a lesson. Now I learned it, and I'm going to do better. You know, assessing your options and selecting the safest bet. A need to be cautious. Again, be cautious, but not in such a way where we're too hyper vigilant. Because again, but this is what happens when you've been betrayed. It's a natural process. Nobody's judging anybody. The universe doesn't judge. They understand. But we're obviously dealing with some stuff here. Something that we're needing to be more open to receiving. We're obviously needing to understand that we have the freedom to move forward if we choose. If we, release ourselves from the mental prison that we've got ourselves in, this feelings of restriction, like we can't do nothing, despair, lack of hope, feelings of restriction due only to one's intellectual assessment of a situation. So again, it's how we're thinking about something. And if we choose to free ourselves from the ruminating thoughts or the feeling stuck or the focusing on, I don't know if this is past or, again, it could be something fresh that we're dealing with now. I don't know. But it's asking you to look for the best path forward that avoids victimization or restriction. Again, we always, as sad to say, it takes two to tango, but again, we do play a role in what we allow. We are not to blame for somebody else's behavior towards us, but we have to hold ourselves accountable again for what we allow. If it's a repeating thing, serial cheaters, serial abusers, again, these people aren't going to change. It's you who has to change. It's you who has to know that you deserve better and not tolerate bullshit from people, not be a dumping ground for people's bullshit. Don't keep allowing people to, again, show up in a way which is hurtful to us and staying in situations much longer than we need to because we love someone. You need to love yourself first. If that person isn't loving you and treating you right, you need to love yourself first. Don't give away your power to people who are bullies, in a sense, especially if you're dealing with narcissistic types, because they serve their own interests. They don't give a shit about anybody else. You have to protect yourself, and you have to know that you are worthy of better. If this is, obviously, you're dealing with some kind of shady person here, hopefully it's not you. I doubt it, because I think a majority of people I'm kind of helping lead through or past dealing with people, other people who were doing stuff, trapped by one's own thoughts or perspectives. So again, we're needing to best not to make any important decisions as thinking is limited and constrained by self-imposed boundaries. So again, our thoughts getting in the way of progression, ways out, ways forward, ways of releasing. Choices are available, but we need to be in the right mindset to choose. Voluntarily surrendering one's power and accountability. Again, we are not to blame for other people's trespasses against us, but we have to be accountable for the role that we play in our own misery by allowing and continuing to allow shitty behavior from people. right? And it's not about kicking ourselves in the ass. It's not about shoulda, woulda, couldas. It's not about, it's about awareness of our own tendencies, healing those things so that we don't allow it to repeat with same people, new people, what have you, right? Because when we become aware and accountable for our own role in our own lives, again, the energy that we bring and the energy that we allow, you obtain a certain level of freedom because you're freeing yourself from the conditioning that had you in these kind of cycles with different people probably throughout your whole life. Again, it definitely allows you to reclaim your power, and it makes you show up differently, ways that protect you more, and that's what you want. See your options and don't be a victim. Honesty, release fears and guilt because it'll equal freedom, right? So that's what we're needing to do. And why are we needing to do that? Because of the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles obviously talks about, you know, long-term commitments, things that are stable, right? Um, Family. So if we're wanting, again, to have a certain thing, we need to get out of our own way. We need to show up differently so that we stop, again, engaging with situations or people that are potentially, no bueno. Culmination and fulfillment, family accomplishment, financial security and comfort, enjoying the fruits of your labors, satisfaction in what is created, a point of completion, accomplishment, because it's a 10, right? So you got 9s and 10s, so it's like you're almost there, but you got to get over this last hurdle, which is mostly about, I guess, acceptance, again, and awareness of our own role in things, and releasing and healing and moving towards, again, obviously something that we want, which is going to be much better for us, right? Committed long-term relationships, solid financial reserves, improved career paths, because again, this journey isn't just about the woo-woo, the soulmate, the twin flame. It's not the goal. It's just kind of what goes on while we're here. These relationships, again, all coming and going to teach us lessons about ourselves. Not all soulmates are life partnerships. Some are karmic, But once we heal that karma, then we can have the life partner. But it's up to you if you believe, And also too, like I said, it isn't just about the woo-woo. Some people have dreams that they need to pursue, or working on their finances or their career, or get other areas of one's life kind of in order. Sometimes people focus too much on just relationship stuff. There are 4 areas that are needing to be balanced in order to be truly happy and prosperous. It's spirituality, health, career, and our relationships. So if we're focusing too much on one and neglecting other areas, we're out of balance, right? That's why any time that you go through something like that, that's why it's important to take some you time to self-reflect, to do a life review, to again gain some wisdom, work on some other areas of your life that while you're healing, again, so that we raise our vibration even more. So we have more to offer, again, so we're not entering into relationships, filling voids and meeting needs. We're coming into it more complete. The saying, if you want a good partner, attract a good partner, you first have to become one, right? So you have to be whole in yourself. You have to have self-respect, integrity, standards, values, hold true to those things. Again, if people don't meet them, keep it moving. But you got your spirituality going. You're taking care of yourself. You're able to support yourself. Your finances are good. Again, it's the whole package. If we want the whole package and someone else, we're going to be the whole package too, right? No more entertaining broken people. Not that they don't need love, but again, usually they bring a whole bunch of stuff. And if your tendency is to be codependent and to be, like I said, awareness is key. I don't know what people's personal stories are, but again, most of the time, shows how family is important. Our roots, our support. Something that will last the test of time. Creating foundations that are long-lasting, long-term. Sharing to show care. So obviously, we want people that show that they care. People that we can build with. Not people that come again to just pick the fruit and not fertilize the soil, right? And then we have here, what will come when you're more open to this? Well, the Sun card, up or down, it's still the most positive card in the deck, obviously. In reverse here, this is temporary depression or lack of success. So what will come when you release yourself from this and put the focus again on you and your healing and moving towards, again, what it is that you would really like to have, but work on ourselves so that we can attract this to us, release situations, again, that aren't working for us, then we can get out of this woe-is, move past it. This is also, we'll be able to see things from a different perspective, because here it talks about finding it difficult to see the positive aspects of a situation, especially if you're done with something or you release something. Again, don't cling to something that does not serve your highest and best. No matter what your heart feels, your soul knows that you deserve better, right? So try to, again, see that there's light at the end of the tunnel. If we, again, just free ourselves from whatever is causing us to not flourish. And sometimes, again, it's our own stinking thinking or how we feel about ourselves. We don't feel that we're worthy of anything more. So that's why we keep settling for less than. This is setbacks that may have damaged your enthusiasm or optimism, questioning whether you can really achieve your desires, feeling sad, depressed, left out, reluctant to proceed. Just like this one, like, don't even have it in you. No enjoyment, direction or path feels distorted. Obstacles that can be removed, but it will take more effort. And again, the effort has to come from within you. If people can't provide you what it is that you deserve or what it is that you want, we have to let things go. Be flexible with the universe. Allow them to bless you by stop clinging on to situations that don't serve you or ways of being that don't serve you. Not a good sense of our capabilities. Lost touch with who you are. Not being honest with yourself. Not being truthful to self or others, or taking a need for a reality check. Which is why I created the reality check deck. Because again, it might not tell you what you want to hear, but it'll tell you what you need to hear. And sometimes that's what we need. Rose-colored glasses is what keeps us in situations too long. Right? And why the Sun in reverse? Because the Judgment in reverse. Because obviously maybe we're not, again, making wrong judgments on others, or because, again, maybe because something isn't coming back together that you were hoping would. Again, if somebody is an ass, and we gotta ask ourselves, why do we want that back? It has to go beyond, but I love them. How does that person treat you? How does that person make you feel? That's what you need to go with. And if it's feeling like this, then that tells you all you need to know. It might not tell you what you might not want to hear it. But again, this is self-doubt, refusal of self-examination. Again, we are where we are due to our own choices. What we allow is what we get and what will continue. At some point, we have to, cut it off and stop wishing and hoping and waiting for other people to show up differently. We have to show up differently. You have to show up for you. You have to love you more than you love that person. And that's the truth. Indulging yourself in self-doubt and judgment. Again, it's not about judgment and woes and shoulda, woulda, couldas and whatever. It's about living, learning, and releasing, because you can't change the past. The only thing that you have control of is the now. What can I do today to make steps towards the life that I want, the person that I want to become? That's the only thing that you have control over. You, your thoughts, your efforts. The universe can only do but so much. It wants to work with you, but you have to be flexible. This is indulging yourself in doubt and self-judgment, your deliberation causing you to miss new opportunities that await you. Again, if we're keeping ourselves stuck, we're blocking our blessings. Right? Not allowing enough time to get to the heart of the matter, so learn from mistakes. You have no control over the event, just your reaction to it. Again, fated things that happen in your life that were preordained before you incarnated here to serve to aid you to shed karma through these lessons, through these soulmate experiences or life experiences, what have you. It's how you respond to it in the aftermath is what's going to pave your destiny. The destiny that you create every day by your choices and your actions. That's why it's so important to have self-awareness and not settle for less than. Too many times people settle for less than just to have something. And you're doing yourself a disservice. Right? Needing to learn again of value, consequences of past actions to learn a valuable lesson. Fear of important decisions and unwilling to accept change. So again, stagnation instead of growth. Reluctancy to let go. Again, playing a role in our own suffering because we keep hanging on, again, waiting for assholes to change and see the light and finally see our worth, so that all our efforts and all the suffering that we went through, to us that feeds the ego, that it was all worth it. And so we cling and we wait and we look day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year for some kind of hope. And again, you keep yourself stuck in the past. You keep yourself stuck to stagnant, toxic people, energies, situations, mindsets. It keeps you from having what it is that you really want. And you have to be open to possibly having that with someone else. Because again, some people are just lessons. And this is, this is where we self-sabotage our own blessings, and we keep ourselves stuck and we keep ourselves in pain because we're waiting again for somebody or something outside of ourselves to validate our worth, to make our suffering have been all worthwhile. And a lot of times, people like this, if we're dealing with certain people that have certain problems, it's like waiting for a boat at the airport. It ain't gonna happen. So you're gonna have to again gain that perspective and wisdom that you need to free yourself. You know what I'm saying, my lovely? Represents the next step that you have to take, the leap of faith. Queen of Cups in reverse. So again, male, female, doesn't matter. Codependency. The step that we have to take is to release ourselves from codependency. Again, self-awareness is key of what our wounding is. Self-love is at the root of many of these situations, the lack of, which causes us to cling to toxic people, to put up with bullshit, to feel that we can heal and love and fix other people. So we take on all this shit and we keep hoping and wishing and dreaming for that person to change. In the meantime, they're dragging you through the mud, perhaps left you high and dry, and then you're still sitting around waiting for them to come back again. I said, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I empathize. But this journey, my dear, is about you. Love yourself. First and foremost, you got to be your own hero. You got to find your light to guide you through the darkness. And once you do that, you won't even resonate with lower vibrational shit anymore. You won't even want to entertain stuff that got red flags all over it, because you're aware now of your own tendencies to attract certain types, and you'll totally won't do it anymore, because you won't want it anymore. You're so worn the fuck out from these experiences and stuff that you'll finally say, I just, like I says, pain is our greatest teacher. And until we learn that then there'll be that one that really breaks you down, and you'll have no choice but to look at yourself and to say, you know what? I am never going to do that shit again. I'm not going to jump through hoops. I'm not going to be a doormat. I'm not going to do none of that shit, because you know what? I need to love myself first. And you'll naturally want more, and you won't settle for less than. But that's why it says, until you heal that wound, and sometimes you need to be alone for a while so that you can heal at the core. Because again, hungry hearts will settle for crumbs. And if you're a person who can't be alone, or you just, again, hungry for love, you'll settle for bullshit. And you'll believe any knight that comes riding in who's, tells you everything that you want to hear, because there are predators out here that feed on people with low self-esteem and who are hungry for love. And we have to be, if you got codependency issues, this is the trap that you're going to find yourself in over and over again. This is feeling out of touch with emotions, forced to restrict how you really feel inside, struggling to express yourself effectively, bottling up our feelings, increased stress, need to address before we hit the boiling point. Again, don't have a nervous breakdown over friggin' people here. Feeling disconnected spiritually, dissatisfied, growing realization that we need to find our path. Feeling weak, unstable, or again, we're dealing with people that could be manipulative. Obviously, Seven of Swords over there, because again, if this is the next step, it might be to ditch people that are like this. Thoughtless, unstable, secretive, manipulative, But again, in regards to if this is us, it can be self-loathing, again, codependent, the overgiver. We're needing to learn here. And why we're needing to learn? Because we're needing to learn to, again, to draw lines in the sand, to have boundaries, to stand up for ourselves. Seven of Wands. Standing your ground. Having standards. things that you will not tolerate because it doesn't serve your highest and best. Don't tolerate bullshit. Don't tolerate people that treat you like shit just to have somebody. Again, codependency, that fear of abandonment, that childhood wound, that whatever, that didn't get the love from a certain parent. So again, we keep seeking out that love through these different partners that embody, that they don't love you energy right back at you again to feed that wound where you got to, keep proving yourself and jumping through hoops and proving that you're worthy of love again because you didn't get it from a certain parent. So again, you repeat that with people. Again, psychology taught me a whole lot about human behavior, or life experience that did it as well. But childhood psychology, again, those certain years of childhood development and how our brains, interpret our environment. And the first role models that we have in regards to love is our parents. So depending on what that dynamic was like, or if there was one that was absent, again, usually you imitate behavior patterns of one and seek out the behavior patterns of the other parent. So again, we imitate what we see. What did love look like to me as a child? And that's why it's so important, once we realize where all this shit comes from, that if we have our own children, to make sure that we don't repeat the cycle of karma, that they learn to love themselves and they don't tolerate bullshit from people, that they have a healthy self-esteem. Because if we realize again where our stuff comes from, we want to make sure that our kids don't go through the same suffering. So that's what it says, anybody that's dealing with abusive types of stuff like that, not only is it important for you to get yourself out of there, but it's important for you to get your kids out of there because, again, that environment just perpetuates the karma. And for many people, this stuff is generational because, again, what did their parents, what did love look like to them as kids? And then for their parents, what did love, again, it becomes generational. And at some point, shit's got to change, right? You can be the person that ends your family karma, especially if this is something that's been repeated through generations. It's, and then you'll really do something great in the spiritual realm. Not only clearing your own karma, but you're clearing the family karma. That's something. Overcome challenges. Draw upon your strength. Again, have confidence, belief in yourself. Take a stand. Have courage, persistence, determination. Right? This is how can you manifest even more successfully? Well, we can get out of this, because I tell you, it's a horrible place to be in. Especially when you're not getting nothing from the other side, as far as an acknowledgement even of the pain that that person has caused you or what have you. Again, I don't know what you were dealing with, but like I says, I empathize. But we have to learn to protect ourselves a little bit better. We need to learn. We need to learn that we deserve better. We have to believe that you do. Get out of this here, hopelessness, severe depression, torment, tormenting ourselves again. And for some, depending on what you were dealing with and depending on how long you were in that. And I don't know if this was, again, fresh, lingering from months ago, years ago again. Anybody dealing with narcissist or abusive situations like that was prolonged or whatever, you might have CPTSD. And this is another reason why we can't get out of ruminating thoughts. It seems another reason why we can't, move on, because again, it's trauma. and it's affected your brain in a way that it's not so easy that like, oh, after a couple months and hanging out with friends we can get over something. Sometimes this stuff stays with you for years. So whatever it is that you got to do, if you got to seek counseling, again, try to realize the depth of your pain. And if you're having a hard time, you know, then you might have developed CPTSD, which will show you even more that that situation is not something that you want back, or that person is not something that you want back. Again, that's why I tell everybody, know what you're dealing with. It's so important, because there's a lot of people that are dealing with psychologically disordered people and that don't even realize that that's what they're involved in, and it leaves them psychologically traumatized in the aftermath. And again, because when you're in it, you're kind of in a fog. You know, you're in pain, you know something's right, but you keep clinging due to your own codependent nature. That's what it says. It's a tough one, and I do empathize. Worry, despair, causing you harm. This is also we're needing again to come out of our anxiety and our fears. And again, if you have to seek help to help you do that, then I recommend it. And why that? Because of the Six of Pentacles. Because obviously this is a one-sided situation. And there was an imbalance here. And it was somebody that was perhaps extremely selfish. One-way streets. Gave away more than you got in return. Right? No equal give and take in this situation. And again, sometimes, again, when people show you who they are, believe it. Take off the rose-colored glasses. Stop trying to paint people in different pictures. Stop accepting more than what somebody has been willing to give you. And sometimes, again, we have to accept that people are who they are and they aren't going to change. And what we need to do is we need to change. And not allow, and not sit and wait, and not, you know what I'm saying? Know that you deserve better. And stop clinging to things that suck the friggin' life out of you. You know what I'm saying? Message from the universe. We got Five of Wands in reverse here again, right? Focus on your goals. Avoid conflict. Avoid drama. You know, the need to be more assertive. Stand up for yourself again, so that you can have more stable relationships. Be committed, again, to your own healing, to your path, to your future, and what you want to manifest in it, so that you can feel more secure in your relationships and not feel like this. And why the Five of Wands in reverse? Because of the High Priestess in reverse. Because again, you already know. Your intuition is already telling you what you need to know. We need to follow it. You know? Hidden agendas. Not listening to our inner voice. Again, knowing that we're dealing with people with hidden agendas, perhaps. We need to reflect and meditate. Important answers lie within. Seek them. Losing focus on our own needs. Again, working harder on somebody else's problems than they are on themselves, and in the meantime, you're being neglected. Right? Leaving you completely depleted and busted and broken, and again, because you're giving more than you're getting. And it's, need to take time out for you. Repressed feelings, again, over-reliance on opinions of others, excessive need for approval and validation. Again, know your own worth and stop looking for somebody else to give that to you. Need confidence and deeper knowing within, right? We're needing to stop ignoring the truth. And the truth is, sometimes, people suck. Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. So again, one-sided situations. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. So release shady-ass, self-serving people. Release whatever is holding us back from manifesting, stinking thinking, negative self-talk, our own patterns, realizing those things again, the extra shit that we've carried with us throughout life that has caused us to be like this. Again, owning our own side of the street so again, we don't repeat stuff, right? Clearing out that energy, because if you want something new to come in, and again, and it'll come in when you're ready, especially if it's something that is a higher vibration. It's not going to come in if you're still in this state. It's not going to come in if you're still in a codependency or what. If you haven't healed your wound, you're just going to attract another situation that was like the last. Heal yourself, so that you can give another relationship a chance, right? Someone that could be your soulmate. A new one. Hopefully better than the last. Past life relationship. You have known each other before. True love. This is the romance of a lifetime. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. And then honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Now, you could have another soulmate that you have a past life connection with, right? That could turn out to be true love. Try to forgive yourself for not knowing better in regards to this other one-sided situation. Release whatever you need to release. Learn the lesson. Apply it. Move on to leave the past, pains of the past behind, and move on to calmer waters, because this reminds me of the Six of Swords. Right? Move on to better things. And enjoy the holiday time with people that love you. Friends, family, whatever. And try to release the woest from this situation. 2019's got to be a better year, right? And the lesson that we're needing to take from all this, the reality check, it's time to clean house. Clean it up, clear it out, let go of what no longer serves you. Don't let negative thoughts, emotions, people, or situations clutter your life and weigh you down. Time to build yourself up, speak your truth, cut your losses, keep it moving, onward and upward. Whatever's got to go, let it. Karma's not a bitch, it's a mirror. Karma is what we create by our thoughts, words, behaviors, actions, deeds, etc. within ourselves and towards others. For example, treating ourselves or others from a place that is not based in love, integrity, truth, compassion, etc. can create negative karma. The opposite, creating good. It's of our own making, and we'll get served our just desserts, be it in this life or the next. Because again, if you don't learn a lot of stuff that we go through in this life, it's stuff that we brought in from past lives. So we're set up in situations and scenarios, again, that will bring that same lesson to us so that we have a chance to, again, learn it in this time around so we don't have to repeat it in the next one. And that's why you earn your dharma when you shed your karma. And your dharma is your blessing or what came out of that experience. And for some, it might be you never wavered in your truth. You stood in your integrity. That is the gift that was given to you by releasing something that didn't serve you. And that's what you'll take into the next life. So again, so you won't repeat this. It's like the exchange. You get rid of the bad for the good. And the light you hold is the light you keep going forward. Right? Negative karma, again, can be carried over from previous lifetimes and comes in the form of lessons to be learned in your current life. Life is like school, and our karma is the classes that we came to pass or shed. You will repeat until you learn. You will be rewarded when you passed. This is ascension work. And that's why when you incarnate here, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, a lot of times it's because you're going through these lifetimes, bringing in karma from the past. That's why when you become enlightened, it's because you're doing ascension work. You're doing shadow work, which is what I try to help people with here, to recognize those things within them that are holding them back. And a lot of it is learning to find your own light within and free yourself from the conditioning that causes you again to show up in a certain way which doesn't serve your highest and best, and which causes you to allow others to show up in a way that isn't for your highest and best. You know, that's what I try to help people with here, so that again, you won't have to come back and repeat this class. And the more self-aware that you are, the more enlightened you are, the closer you are to never having to incarnate in the 3D again. Then you'll just be a being in the higher dimensions. Again, but sometimes it takes thousands of lives to get there. That's why I said, the more you know, the more you dodge these bullets. Again, the awareness, you'll be like, oh, red flag, I'm not even dealing with this. It helps you to end the game quicker. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to be single, go out and mingle. So again, don't be clinging, waiting around for some from past stuff. But again, don't jump into anything without healing first. But that doesn't mean that you can't go out and enjoy people, enjoy life. Get yourself out there. Unless your next romantic partner is the delivery person, they aren't going to come to your doorstep. You have to put yourself out there. Just try to enjoy, again, the holidays with people and friends and take your mind off this situation. Clear out what doesn't serve you. You know, work on yourself, work on your healing, and prepare yourself for the partner that you're wanting. Right? A wise man knows he knows nothing at all. But the universe knows, so listen to what the hell we're saying. Let that shit go. Holding on to feelings, thoughts, people, situations, mindsets, behavior patterns, etc. that only result in unhappiness, missed opportunities, stagnation, procrastination, and shadow aspects of the ego, let it go. Nip that shit in the bud. Whatever it is, nip it. If they aren't putting any effort into the relationship, why are you? Don't chase, replace. As Kenny Rogers saying, know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run away from this person and situation. You know what I'm saying? Wake up and smell the coffee. Open your eyes and accept the truth of your situation. That's what that high priestess was talking about. The truth is, we see the crack way before the ass. Ignoring red flags, wearing rose-colored glasses, and making excuses for bad behavior usually doesn't end well. Usually the same things that we ignore ignored will be the reason why things end. Again, all that stuff, the excuses, and you keep letting people, again, ice skate. There may be some underlying psychological issues to be aware of. This could be in the forms of chronic depression, anxiety, etc., or some kind of childhood wounding that now has an effect on the adult in different areas of their life. A personality disorder may also be playing a role. If you get Planet Narco, which is another card that I have in here, as well in a reading, then this may be another hint as to what may be involved. You didn't get a narcissist card. Well, you got a 7 of Swords here. But again, manipulative people, what have you. Again, it falls on a spectrum. Anybody that treats you like shit and that lies and cheats and uses you or is abusive in any way, financially, what have you, if you find yourself spinning your wheels to people please and tolerate a lot of bullshit, it's two different sides of the same coin, both being brought together to pacify their wounding. And codependency definitely plays a part. And again, in being aware of our own shit is what's going to help us to not entertain and to fall back into our own usual patterns. Right? Seeking out a professional therapist is recommended for further clarification and assistance if you are dealing with this type of person or if it is you who is displaying these behaviors. So again, if you got chronic depression, if you think you might have developed CPTSD from this situation, if you need to go and talk to somebody to help you kind of work through whatever childhood wounding, whatever is causing you again to enter into these situations or build up your self-esteem, whatever you got to do to heal, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself, you know, because again, both people could have psychological problems or one developing more because of dealing with somebody like that. So again, and then you have they're in love with you. Give it a chance, but if negative cards come with this one, someone might be lying and just trying to convince you that this is true. Use discernment. So again, one-sided situations, users, abusers, homosexuals, people that are in there that are just there to get, you know, something out of you. Know what you're dealing with, or keep hoping and wishing and dreaming that somebody loves you or thinking that they feel the same, but really you just in that whole situation by yourself. Because if you're dealing with narcissistic types, they don't give a shit about anybody. They're incapable of love. They can't. And that's the sad part. They lack empathy. They lack the ability to connect due to their own wounding. They may say that they love you, or they may use the word love to get into situations so they can take advantage of people. But again, if someone loves you, they treat you better. You know, again, how does that person treat you and how do they make you feel? What's love got to do with it, as Tina Turner said? You know what I'm saying? People use that word to serve their own interests. Love yourself. That's the lesson. And until next time, my lovelies, take care. I wish you well. And let us make 2019 a better year. And leave all this stuff behind. Even the ways that, again, that we're not stepping up to the plate for ourselves. Let 2019 be the year that we love ourselves first. And we don't settle for less than anymore. Until next time, my dears, I'm ready to hit it. It's going on midnight, and I've been talking for 3 hours. I'm tired. Take care, hun. Bye-bye.